Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk About Houses. I'm Todd.
I'm Oana.
We are going to do an update to the Las Vegas real estate market. This is an exciting update because the market has turned. It's turned for the better. And we're going to talk about why this is going to be potentially next spring could be absolutely on fire.
Okay.
But we have exciting news to share with you before we do this. My alma mater is now 6-0, undefeated in college football. They are bowl eligible. And they have not had a close game. They have played 6 straight Division I opponents. And the closest game they had, they won by 12.
I'm excited beyond belief.
Wanda doesn't care about college football, but my team is ranked now 24th, the U.S. Naval Academy, also known as Navy. Army is also undefeated. They're ranked 23rd. So it's possible to have Army and Navy play at the end of the season undefeated, which has not happened for a long time.
So if there's an Army-Navy game party out there in the Vegas area, feel free to invite Mr. Miller.
No, there is going to definitely be an Army-Navy party because the Army-Navy are going to face off like 10 to 11 wins each at the end of the season. Okay, now that we got that super exciting, and if you're college, if you went to college and they have a good football team, post it in the comments, like what school you went to and how your team is doing. I'm super excited about this. Anyway, we're going to talk now about Las Vegas real estate market. And I'm going to start with this market action index. And now, Juana,
Yes.
the hottest part of the year, like the best time to be a seller, is usually, if you had to pick an exact date, what date would you pick? Like if you're going to list your house, what's the best day to list it to get the most money?
In the spring?
Okay, but pick a date. Just pick a date.
Okay. March 23rd.
Okay, March 23rd. If you were going to pick the worst day, the best day to be a buyer, meaning you have the most leverage, there's going to be the most number of homes on the market, what day would that be if you just picked a day?
Okay, so I'm going to just go complete opposite, September 30th.
September 30th. Okay, well, here we are. October 21st, 22nd, right? And we only have a slight seller's advantage in the real estate market. Now, normally this should be a good time for buyers. It's not that great of a time for buyers. And when we go through this and you see, you'll see why. Okay, it says here, the market's been cooling over time and prices plateaued for a while. Despite the consistent decrease in the market action index, we are in the seller zone. Watch for changes in the market action index, yada, yada, yada. It could fall in the buyer zone. Watch for downward pressure on prices. If it falls in the buyer zone, want it. But it's not going to do that. Why is it not going to? Why is the market action index likely from now until March 23rd to go up substantially? Why is it probably not going to be 37 next week or the week after or the week after that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I honestly think that it's going to kind of just do nothing for the next few weeks.
Okay.
I honestly believe that. I don't expect a whole lot of activity until maybe end of January. I think because of what's happening in the country right now, I just think people are in this hang tight kind of place. But this is different than with other goods and services, right? Because, for example, let's say that you decide to not go out to dinner tonight.
Right.
Well, that meal is lost, okay? That restaurant's never getting that revenue back, right?
Right.
But in housing, it's different because all this does is keep building up this pent-up demand. And
Right.
I think that once we get through, the thing that's happening in November that shall not be named, and
We're
then
not talking about it.
Nope. And then the other thing that happens toward the end of January that shall not be named
Not
either.
talking about that either.
And so once we get through all these things and people just kind of get on with their lives, then all this pent up demand that we probably have had really for the last couple months, and it's going to continue to build through this time. I think you're going to hit February and things will really pick up. March and April are going to be crazy. I think you're going to see a lot of transactions turn. I think for the time being, I think between now and then, it's going to be kind of this pretty much even keel between buyers and sellers. I don't see a huge advantage on either side, maybe here or there with particularly desirable properties, yes. But overall, when you're looking at the market, I think it's going to be kind of a push.
Okay, we're going to look at the real-time market profile. July 5th, median home price in Vegas was $275. Today it's $276. Oana, generally don't prices decline a little bit from the spring to the fall? That's not happening.
No, it's not. Like I said, it's really kind of this even thing, and it's not happening for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's not happening because we do still have buyer demand, right? I mean, there's still a lot of buyers out there. We don't have enough sellers for all the buyers, so we're kind of in this, like I said, this equilibrium really, which we shouldn't be in an equilibrium, which is kind of, I think, to your point.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be in equilibrium, and we are, and that's why you're seeing these very little upticks, downticks, and it's just basically an equilibrium of where we were a few months ago, and that's unusual for this time of year.
Okay, here's another one. Inventory. Now, we had said that early October, inventory would peak and start declining. Well, on Friday, October 11th in Las Vegas, we had 3,459 homes. Historically, that is like half the number we should have available for purchase, okay?
Right.
We should have many more homes than that for October. It's less. So inventory now is not building, meaning homes are selling faster than people put them on the market. Now, this is just 1 week. We have next week, and then the week after that, the week after that, the week after that, then the thing that shall not be mentioned. Then we have many other weeks after that, and I think by the time we get into the spring, it could be pretty, regardless of what interest rates do. I think interest rates will be less in the spring. But regardless, I think with inventory disappearing, what would you predict? Because I have other charts I'm going to show that sort of tell the story. If you had to guess right now, that investment house today that somebody's paying $340 for, what are they paying for that house in March 23rd, or the day you picked?
Okay. So I think they're going to pay more. We'll put it that way. How much more? I can take a swag at it, but I certainly think that they're going to be paying probably closer to $370, honestly. And it's not that I'm expecting real estate prices to go up by that much. I'm simply saying that because of the amount of demand we're going to have in the spring, we're going to have this multiple offer thing going on, and so you will see prices be substantially higher in the spring than they are now. I'm not saying to go out and buy that house right now. All I'm saying is that for the same house in the spring, when you're competing with other buyers, that's just the reality of it, that if you're competing with multiple buyers, you're going to be paying more than you're paying today. That's all I'm saying.
Here's the first chart, price per square foot. I picked April 12th because that should be pretty high. Like the home prices should kind of stop going up. Maybe they keep going up into May. Who knows? But home prices are higher now, and you can see it's leveled off a little bit. Didn't drop, though. That's the interesting thing, is home prices generally decline a little bit. They now the last few years have been constrained by inventory. Now let's go back and look at this inventory chart. Now the dot is the same day over the last 5 years. If you go all the way to the left of the chart, that would be today of 2019. Today of 2019, inventory was dropping. If you go to today of 2020, inventory was dropping. Today of 2021, inventory was dropping. Today of 2022, inventory peaked and was dropping. Now, it hadn't started dropping last year, but look how low it was. It was still kind of climbing, but only for like a month, and then it started dropping. So it is likely that and we know that week over week it dropped. So that you can't really see it because the way this chart has the funky dashed lines. It's already started dropping again. So it is highly likely, all other things being equal, the inventory will drop. So, Oana, what does this mean for the people that just want to wait 6 more months for interest rates to drop another 0.5% so they can knock another $150 off their house payment?
Okay, so I'm going to say 2 things that are very prophetic, and they sound like they don't go together, but if you think about it, they do.
Okay.
So if you are a seller smarter minds than mine have said that we're going to have appreciation of 5% next year. So if you're a seller, that's the thing to hang your hat on. If you're a buyer, you're going to be competing with lots of other buyers for the same property because people compete for desirable properties. And hang on to your hat, kiss your wallet goodbye, because you're going to have a hard time out there and you'll be paying more for the same house next year. And you'll be paying more for the house than you're really anticipating. And so how can they both be true at the same time? Because it depends on where you're sitting. If you're the seller, 5% is going to be kind of across the board where probably things will go according to smarter minds than mine. If you're the buyer, supply and demand, there still will not be sufficient supply to meet all the demand between the people that have been sitting on the fence, between the people that
wait for interest rates to fall.
That have been waiting for interest rates to fall, between the people that have been waiting for other cosmic things to happen in the country. Those people are going to come out, and they're going to come out and shop for homes. So you can have both of them be true. You can have sellers see 5% appreciation. You can have buyers see a far more substantial premium that they're having to pay for homes than that 5%.
There are not a bunch of homes in foreclosure that are just waiting to be foreclosed. That's a myth. There are not a bunch of homes in forbearance. Someone did a video talking about all these homes in forbearance. That data is from 4 years ago. During the previous thing that should not be mentioned, those were all resolved. There are not a bunch of people that are not making their mortgage payments. The serious delinquent mortgages are the lowest they've ever been. Las Vegas had over 50% of all homes in Las Vegas are free and clear. Zero mortgage. Mm-hmm. The other 50% of people that have mortgages, most of those people bought more than 4 years ago when prices were much lower, and either originated at a lower rate or refied to a lower rate. Mm-hmm. So the average person in Las Vegas probably has about $1,100 a month mortgage payment. Not if you bought a super expensive house, you don't. Yes, people who maybe bought in the last couple of years have higher payment. They are not all in forbearance, unlike what some of the Vegas crash bros who I follow, some of my friends with even, they're just like, oh, Todd, the forbearance I've been listening to this since 2013, since the shadow inventory was going to crash the housing market. So the bottom line is this: 2,300 houses available to purchase in Las Vegas, just the city of Las Vegas.
3,500 is what you said.
Yeah, 3,439. 3,400 right now. Remember, we have 400,000 available in the city. Probably going to get down to 1,500. And of those 1,500, probably half of them will have multiple offers, and the other half will either be overpriced or you won't want them.
Okay, so but the reality is that those homes that are coming off the market, they're coming off the market for the holidays. And when they come off the market for the holidays, they're kind of in two boats, right? One boat is, hey, I just don't want my home to be shown, so I just want to take it off the market. However, if somebody wants to make me an offer, I might still be game. And then you've got the other half of the people who take their homes off the market. It's like, I don't care. I'm dealing with, family, whatever, and I don't want to hear about it until after the new year. But regardless of which boat these people are in, they will almost all come back on the market in the spring. So that home that maybe gets taken off the market for the holidays is very likely to come back on the market in the spring if it doesn't sell in the meantime. So this is what I want to point out to you, is if you're thinking, oh, it went off the market, so I have a reprieve and I'll just buy it when it comes back on the market. No, because just because it went off the market doesn't mean that it won't sell while it's off the market. So if that home is important to you, then, you might want to let us know, let your agent know, whatever. Figure it out, because if you want that home, you want to make sure that you actually get that home and that somebody else doesn't buy that home while you're not looking.
If you look at this chart, I'm going to put it back up, the inventory chart. There is nowhere in here in January where a bunch of homes came back on the market after people said, oh, I don't want showings on Christmas Day. Look, this is what people do. This is a little different opinion on that. If you have to sell your house, this is a big deal. You don't just willy-nilly, I'll sell it, and it's inconvenient, whatever. You'll just say, look, I have family coming over on Thanksgiving Day. There's no showings Thanksgiving Day. Well, probably all the buyers are also celebrating Thanksgiving Day, so probably not going to want to see your house. But if you're trying to sell your house and it's the day before Thanksgiving, you're going to let them in the house. And if it's the day after Christmas, you're going to let them in the house. You're not going to say, oh, I'm just going to take it completely off the market and we're going to cancel the listing agreement. I'm going to wait till the February 8th because we celebrate Groundhog's Day. It's a big, I'm from Puxatawny. It's a big celebration. I think people, nowhere on this chart is people's homes coming off the market and then coming back on. They just, I mean, I've never had, I don't think anyone ever tell me I'm taking off the market for the holiday. Have you had that before?
I haven't had that, but I see it when I watch the numbers.
Okay. I'm just looking at this chart right here. It doesn't really show, it just shows the number of homes disappearing from October to April. And the reason why we're super excited about this video, as well as Navy football, is that not only, have home prices been going up pretty much for the last 18 months, but it's likely to continue, but the inventory is dropping. So any housing crash or short-term softness that you were hearing about for Las Vegas and the crash bros, you have to sell. I don't think you have to sell if you own your house. And we get criticized for this a lot. Like, Todd, you're just trying to get people to buy a house. Like, I don't really care if you buy a house because we work with sellers. When sellers sell their house, that's how we make our money. If we were trying to get more business, we tell you the market's going to crash, just sell your house, list it with us. But I just think it's going to be crazy. I think this spring is going to be crazier than, except for maybe 2022 and 2021. I think this spring will be crazier than it was last year because we're getting this thing that's going to happen October 5th or November 5th-ish is going to happen. Some event apparently has been scheduled that day. And that will affect people's deciding what they're going to do in their life, maybe, if they think, based on what they think. Right. So I think personally, the spring, we have investors buying right now. And I think that's the smartest thing for our investors who are purchasing now. This is the best time of year to buy, I think. The best time besides today buying would have been pretty much any time in the past, especially before 2013. But, we have investors who bought 2 or 3 years ago who are doing much better than they would if they had just showed up today to buy a house.
Right.
Yeah.
So the right time to sell your house is when it's the right time for you, and the right time to buy a house is when it's the right time for you. Ignore the market, ignore all the talking heads.
But don't ignore us, because we've been right now since 2008, we started making these videos. And on our radio show before that, we were right. So we've been right now for 16 years.
Right. So, if we make sense for you, great. If we don't, that's fine too. Regardless, show us some love. Like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the video. If you're interested in buying or selling in Vegas or anywhere else, please reach out to us and we'd love to help you. Leave us your real estate related comments and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye.